This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Fresno State's legend, Josh Harper. How's it going?
What's going on? Ruthless, what's going on with you?
Hey, what's going on, bro? It's got to be quite a while since your name's been mentioned in Fresno State, huh?
Yeah, it's been what, 7-8 years? Man, I'm kind of aging myself. I feel kind of old now, but it's been it's been a while. It's about 7-8 years.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like it has to be like crazy just to play with the likes of Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, man. That offense, that Mountain West, man. You guys overtook Boise State that year.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, you know how good they were. So Tay and DC, they was throwing the ball all across the field. But then we had some other athletes too, like some like Burst. We had Burst in the slot. We had Marcel Jensen at 6'6" tight end. We had dudes on the defensive side of the ball too. So it was fun. That year was crazy, especially for the city of Fresno. So that was a crazy year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you were like recruited from St. Mary's in Stockton,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. So I'm originally from the Bay Area, but we moved to like the Valley Tracy area in like my 8th grade year, so I can go to school at St. Mary's in Stockton. But Stockton St. Mary's was a great place for me. The city of Stockton embraced me, so I loved it.
Yeah, good program too, from what I was told. Guess they were called the Rams. Is that what they were?
Yeah. We was called the Rams, and we had some dudes come out of there as well. I mean, everybody knows who Doug Martin is. So
best running back at the time too. Like he was killing it in the Bay.
Yeah, definitely. So he had a great career. And I came in my freshman year. He was a senior, so he kind of took me under his wing. And he was one of the players at St. Mary's that I looked up to.
Yeah, you had to look up at somebody that was modeling their game after you or some other way,
Definitely. So yeah, Doug Martin was, he was doing his thing out there for sure.
Yeah. So what was it like just growing up with a dad that played in the NFL for so many years?
It was great. It was a blessing, because he was my coach for a few years as well. So, he was always on my case and, just letting me know what it takes to make it to that next level. And I think he definitely did his job. He got me there. He got me a chance. And I give most of the credit to him, just being able to lean on somebody who's done it, who's played at the highest level and for so long. So it was pretty dope. Even though I wasn't born while he was playing, I always, pick his brain, look at, some of his old highlights. He was part of them Super Bowl teams. So, I'm always going to listen when he talks.
You got to acknowledge the past and greatness, like they all say,
Yeah, definitely. And he was definitely a part of them great teams. And, he had a great career himself, played over 10 plus years. That's not heard of, all the time like that. So, he had a great career.
Yeah, he was like the one that had the tenured club mark or something. Mm-hmm. He was like one of the very few guys on there.
Yep. 10 plus year club, I want to say it's called. So, they have their little they reunion on every season. So he's part of that 10 plus club.
Man, it's got to be legendary that he was able to interact with the likes of Patrick Willis during those games at times.
Yeah, and he I would say this, he loves Patrick Willis's game. So yeah, I know their conversations was probably pretty dope. And Patrick Willis is a legend. So
yeah, he's kind of like exactly what Ray Lewis is kind of like, but just
I know the faithful love Patrick Willis. Just like Ray Lewis is to the Ravens, Patrick Willis is to the Niners.
Absolutely.
The faithful love him.
Absolutely. Then it must be kind of interesting to have a niece that's just a singer. Like she's just very successful at the music business.
Yeah, man, and she's killing it as well. Not just music, but the fashion industry.
Yep.
She's in TV shows. She's doing it. She's doing it all. Putting herself out there and marketing herself. She's a star too. She is a star, I would say. So
absolutely. And then you're your own guy, so you're kind of making your own legacy. Just going from. But was there like any other offers besides Fresno State, or you just chose Fresno State just automatically?
So no, I had a bunch of other offers. I would say. So I was committed to Cal, University of California, from my junior year all the way to after my senior year. So on Christmas, I decommitted from Cal. So I was supposed to go to Cal. And then I had like the whole Pac-12. I had Ole Miss, Tennessee, but I wanted to stay on the West Coast. So I went to the West Coast.
It had to be something unique just to go into the Central Valley and go play ball. So was it just a coaching staff, or was it just some players that you just saw like, hey, I just want to go play with those guys?
So I'll tell you this. The best recruiter in the world, Keith Williams, he got a hold of me. He started, doing his talk, and, he got to my parents, and I just loved what he had to say. And what he had to offer as far as helping me get to that next level. So I would say Keith Williams was the main product of me going to Fresno, and then just knowing that DC was there. I heard a bunch about DC and how he was going to be a great quarterback. How he had offers from everywhere as well. So I would say Keith, and then just knowing DC was there.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be that interesting just to have, like you just said, Isaiah Burst was another receiver that was like a slot receiver, and then you had Devontae Adams as the go-to receiver, and then you were the other receiver. But just playing with Fresno State, man, it must have been a lot of fun just to go from rebuilding to being very competitive in the Mountain West, man. It was like a quick turnaround once you guys started clicking.
And it was a quick turnaround, and I would say that 2010 recruiting class was a big part. I know 2011 they had Derek and I want to say Robbie Rouse, and a couple other dudes, but that 2010 class, Coach Hill and Coach Keith Williams was pulling players away from Pac-12 schools. We had Burst, he could have went Pac-12. Jalen Saunders, I know you remember that name.
Oh yeah, he went to like Oklahoma.
He ended up going to Oklahoma. He transferred, but he could have went to big schools coming out. Davon Dunn, he was committed with me at Cal. We decommitted together, so they was just picking people from Pac-12 schools. They did their thing that year. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, so he had to roll with you because he said, "You're my boy. I'm gonna go with you."
Oh yeah. He was definitely, and he put so many other players in the league. So I was talking to people like Lavelle Hawkins and like James Jones. They were like, Keith Williams is a dude. If you want to maximize your game as a wideout, you need to go with him. So I was just getting hit from all types of directions, and
you took a lot of pointers off of guys like James Jones, who you kind of model your game a little bit, right?
No, I definitely think.
Who'd you model your game after?
I would say so. James Jones, we had similar games. He was bigger than me. He's bigger than me, but I think we had similar games as far as like route running, deceptive speed. We could do something with the ball afterwards, but no, I definitely say you could say I modeled my game after him, but we do have similar styles. But as far as like Lavelle Hawkins, he was electric with the ball. I wouldn't say I couldn't model my game after Hawk.
Maybe an Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, and so I played like those type of players. I just didn't have the same body frame as him,
Yeah, that's why I guess I kind of just jump up the gun a little too early with the James Jones model game a little bit because of the way you guys are built. Like I would think that would be like your model game because James Jones was a pretty solid damn receiver. Like he was really good. I guess he's think is
Uh-oh. I'm back.
something happened with your reception.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
It's all good, man. But I didn't mean to pull the gun and just throw in the James Jones comparison. I just thought it was a good comparison because of the way you guys were built and kind of played good in those route runnings. I would have thought that would have been a good compliment right there.
No, that was a great compliment. Like I would say, James Jones, we called him Dingo. He was like my big bro. You know, he was my mentor for sure. Like if I needed something, you know, I can call up on him because you know Keith Williams coached him too. So I definitely modeled my game after him. Coach Williams, Coach Dub used to show his highlights. You know, from when he was in college at San Jose State. So no, that's you hit that was perfect. That was a perfect comparison right there.
Yeah, I mean, James Jones did run some good routes, wasn't fast, but made the plays. I can say Anquan Bolden's another good example because you're a possession solid receiver. And besides Davante Adams, you were the most productive receiver outside of Davante Adams. Like you were consistent. You had a back-to-back season with 1,000 yards. Even without Carr, you were still becoming the main target.
Yeah. No, like I said, we had a lot of productive receivers, but you know, just to be able to play with those dudes and be productive at the same time, it was a blessing, man. Yeah, I would definitely say, you know, I had a productive career at Fresno State. I made the right choice. I would say I made the right choice.
Yeah, you had some great stats, but it was just unfortunate you didn't get drafted, which I thought you should have been drafted based by the way you were performing at that school.
Yeah, and I would say it was due to injuries. I played 4 years at Fresno State, but the games I played is equivalent to me being there for 2 years. So, you know, that's mind blowing, right? So I had a bunch of injuries there. And then the year I should have came out with like Derek and Davante, I had tore my groin. So it was just a tough situation, a tough run of injuries, bad luck, I would say. But no, you know, I still got a chance, but it would have been pretty dope to get drafted, I would say. I definitely felt like I should have.
Yeah, you should have been because you were like a productive receiver. You had back-to-back 1,000 yards receiving. I mean, after Davante Adams left and Carr left, you were still productive despite them being gone.
Yeah, and we had 3 quarterbacks that year. So I played with 3 quarterbacks in 1 year. So it was Burrell. I don't know if you remember that name, Burrell.
And there was a quarterback from Texas that you guys picked up a while back.
Duke.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Connie, and then we had the freshman Zach Greenlee. So we went a whole year. We went a whole year with 3 quarterbacks, you know, interchanging. And I want to say we still made the Mountain West Championship game, and it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, you guys were still productive with the talent you guys had. So it was just mostly just 2 of your key players that left, and then your running back left too. So it was like,
yeah.
Then you and Isaiah Burst left the same year.
No, so Burst left with Derek and Davante. So they all left together. I thought I was going to be in that class with them, but like I said, the injuries held me back. But it was pretty dope because I got to climb up the record books at Fresno State. You know, Davante got most of them, rightfully so. But you know, just to be right behind him in like touchdowns, I would say, and then just like top 5 and a lot of the other statistical categories.
I mean, yeah, you're at least among the top of the Fresno State receivers as far as I'm concerned. Like you got a lot of great ones like Bernard Berrien. What's his name? Ellard.
Yeah, Henry Ellard. That's the OG right there. The
OG.
Original Bulldog right there.
Then of course you got Davante. Then you're up there. I mean. Now Jalen Cropper is kind of like another guy that just came into the draft, but I think he got signed to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I love Cropper. Like so I was on staff when he was getting recruited and stuff. He's one of my favorite players. I love his game. I think if he gets a chance with the Cowboys, he's gonna really open up some eyes there. I love his game.
Yeah, there's
players.
He's very versatile. I think he can do a lot more than just be a natural receiver. There's just something there you can use with him.
Yeah, no, and I think like the offense that he was in at Fresno State, they didn't really run like routes, but he could run routes. and he's just so dynamic with the ball.
Quick,
It kind of
quick.
it kind of takes the eye away from all the other good things that he does, which it shouldn't be like that. But I definitely feel like he should have got drafted as well. He's super productive.
Oh yeah, like very fast, and
Yeah.
like you said, he runs good routes, and he's hard to like catch. And once he gets the ball, he's just right on.
He's electric. That's his biggest strength right there. And who wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah, he's kind of. Guess he's kind of like a Percy Harvin, just a little.
I would say so. Say so.
Yeah, and then you look back at it, like you go undrafted and you go to the Raiders. But was there like any other teams that kind of gave you some free agent offers, like like a little bit of money, but you chose loyalty with Derek Carr?
Yeah, so I would say I should have went to the Saints. So the Saints wanted me, like they called me like 3 times. Like they were like, "Hey, we want you. We don't have that much money, but we really want you. Come up here." I'm like, let me think about it. Hung up. Raiders. Derek called me. Like that was the dopest part. Derek called me. He was like, "We want you." I'm like, "All right, I'm going." I'm going. And then Seattle. So those were the top 3 teams: the Raiders, Seattle, and then the Saints. I think the Saints wanted me the most. But it was when Derek called me, I was like, and I was upset that I didn't get drafted. I felt I should have got drafted. So when Derek called me, I'm like, you know what? Come on, let's do this. I'm going. So it was really dope.
Yeah, if Derek Carr makes a call and wants you out there, man, you might as well just pack your stuff and go over there.
For sure. I was actually his roommate during training camp. So, just a familiar face, and we were going over plays. Before I even got there, he was helping me with the playbook. So, he definitely played a big part in me going and picking the Raiders. So,
yeah, but what was it like with Crabtree and those other receivers?
Oh man, so they had a bunch of receivers there. So Coop, he came in, same class as me, first round pick. They had Crabtree. Yeah. They had Crabtree, super good, super cool dude, and he was still productive there. And then they had like some other veterans like Kimbrell Tompkins, Holmes. Who else did they have? They had Seth, who ended up being their slot receiver. And then, who else did they have? They had a bunch of receivers.
But wasn't James Jones on the roster or no?
So yeah, James Jones was there, but I think he had got let go before right before I got there. So I think right after the draft they let Dingo go.
Yeah, because I thought he was there on that roster too. Then they had Jordy Nelson after the following year, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Butler. They had Butler there too, and he was a good dude.
Bryce Butler.
Bryce Butler. He took me under his wing. He was showing me the ropes, and that's rare for another fellow receiver who's fighting for a job to take me under his wing, and show me the ropes. So I would say like him, Seth, Crabtree, they was all super supportive of me. Yeah, so no, it was a pretty cool receiving core right there.
Yeah, it had to be pretty cool just to be around someone like Derek Carr, but then be around those other receivers. Like I know there's different personalities with these receivers, but what was it just like hanging around with Crabtree?
Oh man, Crabtree is a character, man. Crabtree was a character, and just coming in, just seeing and being around him, and just seeing how laid back he is, and just how down to earth he is. Funny dude. We all got to take a trip to Derek's house. So during the spring after OTAs, we all took a trip to Derek's house and spent the weekend there. So it was cool just getting to know the whole receiving core. But no, yeah, Crabtree was down to earth, super funny dude. But I would say the funniest dude, and he was super cool to be around, was Amari Cooper.
Ooh.
Yeah, Amari Cooper is probably I know the public probably don't know, but he is the funniest dude I've been around in sports, hands down.
Ooh, so he's kind of low-key quiet, but then kind of like under the radar, just super funny.
Not yet, but during like in the locker room and just at practice and stuff, he's not quiet. He is a character. He's a funny dude for sure. He's a funny dude.
I mean, you would know more behind the scenes because there's sometimes those people that look quiet, but maybe behind the scenes they're just too funny at the point.
And I know like the public probably thinks he's quiet, but the dude is funny. I'm telling you. I wish everybody could see that side of him. He's a funny dude for sure.
Hey, wasn't Michael Rivera there too, or no?
No, Michael Rivera wasn't there. The tight ends that was there was he there?
I think in 2014 he was drafted or around there. Like he was drafted.
Did he get traded?
I don't think so. Like, because I looked into, I think in 2014, I think he was drafted there, or was it Clyde Walford, whatever?
It was Clyde Walford, and then it was Lee.
Oh yeah, Lee Smith. Yeah, Lee Smith.
Yeah, those two, Lee Smith. I had a chance, so I got to be on the coaching staff with the Raiders as well. A few years after I was done, with injuries and stuff. So I was on the staff, and Lee was still there. So it was pretty cool, just still seeing that vet there, and he was always super cool with me too. So
yeah, I mean, it had to be a good experience to just get into an NFL team and see what it's like. But
yeah.
So what made you feel like you needed to go to the CFL, man? Was there no opportunities, or how it worked?
So I mean, I had a couple, like I said. So with the Raiders, there was a bunch of receivers, so there wasn't that much time to show what I had in preseason. So I had a couple of workouts here and there. I had a workout with the Eagles and the Dolphins during the year, but nothing came about with that. So I went to the CFL just to get film, put something on tape, show them what I can do. Hopefully make it back sooner rather than later. But again, got to the CFL, tore my hamstring. So it was just the injury-riddled career, man.
Yeah, those hamstrings, man, they just become a serious concern. It's like everybody would say, isn't that like fixable for them? Nope, they get it consistently if they don't take care of the hamstring, right?
Yeah, it's tough. So I actually did it. I actually did it in preseason practice. Still played in the last preseason game against the BC Lions. Got a crazy catch over the middle, and then come to find out I'm playing on a torn hamstring. I'm limping around. If you see the highlight, like I'm limping around and make a a little nice catch over the middle, and just like I really can't move. So it's like
yeah, that just sucks how the injury just plaqued out your career, man. I mean, there was still something there, man. You were making spectacular catches at Fresno State. You were kind of like that one guy that definitely would have made it for other teams. I mean, you could have been a number 2 or maybe a good slot receiver, but I guess injuries derail you a bit. It's just
I see like a bunch of players in the NFL like that has my similar style, similar size. In the slot, I feel like I can be I felt like I could have been a decent slot receiver in the NFL. My short area quickness and stuff like that, and my hands, but yeah, them injuries, man, it's tough.
It is tough. I mean, there is some slot receivers who have that same type of like play, like you're saying. Like Juwan Jennings is just a big wide receiver, but he just has that he's not quick, but he does have the separation.
And he's tough and an energetic dude. He got that dog. I think he has a dog in him for sure. Like, and he's just energetic. His energy is just, who wouldn't want that on their team?
Yeah.
He catches. He's clutch. He catches the big plays at the right time. Right, third downs is when he pops up. So, I think he's great for the Niners.
Yeah,
that's something I feel like I could have been.
Yeah, but I guess God gave him some big size and that little dog mentality.
Yeah, stiff arm too. A nice little stiff arm.
Yeah, for real. But I mean, there's a lot of guys with different talent. Like you have Deebo Samuel, who was just an all-around receiver. Then you got Ayuk, who's just that one guy that just seems to have good route runs. So, like, what's your thoughts of those two guys?
So Deebo is just, I love Deebo, and he makes the big plays at the right time. Like he'll catch a screen, and when he has the ball in his hand, you think he can score every single time. But then, like, my favorite receiver on the team is Ayuk, because he's just a pure wide receiver. He can do it after the catch. One-on-one, he can beat his man consistently, and he has nice hands. So, and since he's been in the league, he's progressed consistently. And I think on a pass-heavy team, he can be like a top 15, top 10 receiver. That's how much I got a lot of faith in Ayuk. So that's my favorite receiver on the team. He's pretty nice.
Yeah, he is. Like he's like that one guy that's gotten better throughout the season. But then you look into the Raiders. I mean, you got Devontae who's still in the lead, and then you got Hunter Renfrow, and I guess they signed that one receiver from the Patriots. What's his name? Myers.
Who was? Oh, Jacoby Myers, right?
Yeah, Jacoby Myers. Yeah. What do you think of their receivers?
Oh, so anytime you got Devontae, it makes the others' jobs easier. So you got the best receiver in the NFL, and you got to be able to beat your man one-on-one. So I know Hunter he's a route technician in that slot, that 10 to 15 yard range. He's unstoppable. And then I'm not too familiar with Jacoby Myers, but I know he had a couple of pretty good years with New England. So I think that trio that, with Jimmy G, he's going to get the ball out. So if they're open, Jimmy G is going to get it to him, and you just got to make a play with it after that. And Tay, he's the best player. He's the best receiver in the league.
Cover him.
So nobody can cover him. So
nobody can cover him, but you got to cover him.
Yeah, you could put 2 on him, and he's still gonna get open. So, and there's not a lot of receivers that can do that. So
good route runner and contested catches. I mean, it's gonna be hard to cover him, but right. Yeah, but looking into the entire draft class of this year, which receiver stood out to you? Like, why'd you like this receiver?
The kid from the Ravens picked him. What's his name?
Flower.
So he's got it all. I know he's not the biggest receiver, but he has it all as far as route running, speed, hands, tough catches, and the ability to score, once he has the ball in his hands. So this receiving class, I wasn't too, pumped up about, but Zay Flowers, that's his name. Zay Flowers, he stood out to me, for sure. I think he was the best receiver in this class.
Probably because of the big plays ability and all the other stuff, but there was this one receiver who just got my attention, and nobody was talking about him until this year. He came out of Purdue, Charlie Jones. That dude is just
6'6" dude. Is he 6'6" or how tall is he?
He's like a short receiver.
Oh, he's short.
I think he's about I think he's about 6 foot barely.
Okay. I know who you're talking. I know the name. I'm not too familiar.
He's kind of like a Hunter Renfrow, but just that separation guy that just makes the big catches. He was the most productive receiver coming out of Purdue.
Oh, nice. So there's always room for players like that in the NFL. So I'm curious to dive in and see what he's about. I'm not done looking at all the receivers, so I'm gonna dive in and see what he's about. For sure.
So when you look back at it, man, so you did play for another league called the Oakland Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm. So I signed with the Oakland Panthers. I was part of that first ever signing, and we did a bunch of stuff. But COVID hit, and the league went away, so I didn't get a chance to actually play for them. And then we ended up moving to Henderson, and I wasn't about to. Only reason why I wanted to play was because it was close to home. I can still get that itch of playing football, and still work, right, and still have my job that I'm doing. But once we moved to Henderson, it was that was out, and it was time for me to hang the cleats up. So
had to hang those cleats. And now, what do you do currently?
So I'm a recruiter for Amazon Prime Video. We helped with Thursday Night Football, so I'm actually still involved, with sports in a way. And then I got 2 other businesses on the way, a water business, and then another recruiting type business. So I'm trying to get these streams of income.
Yeah, any way to make some money, man. But you must have that flexibility, man. Like you say, you just do home business, so it's got to be something that's
yeah. So I'm blessed to be able to work remotely with Prime Video. So I'm on the computer, on the phone all day. So I definitely have flexibility to do my other businesses that I'm getting off the ground right now. And then I'm also thinking about getting back into coaching on the high school level. Just to be around it. You got to be around it. You
gotta love the game of football. You gotta be surrounded. Like you said, you can just go back coaching, but as coaching receivers or a head coach or what?
Yeah, I would say I would start off at receivers, and then most likely work my way up, depending on how everything's going. If I have the time to do it. You know, how time consuming is it? So I don't want it to interfere with the other businesses that, you know, that I have going on right now.
Yeah, but what's the business like with Amazon Prime? I just keep hearing that name pop up a lot.
Oh, it's fun. So I help people find or get jobs there. I interview them and put them through the process, walk them through the process every step of the way. But it's fun. And then just to, see on TV, like somebody working the cameras, or you're like, oh, I hired that dude right there. It's pretty dope, and to be able to do, the Thursday night initiative, that was pretty dope. So I definitely enjoy working for Amazon Prime Video. So
was it like to just work up close to Sherman? Have you ever like met up with him?
No, so I haven't. They offered like, to come out there or have like a video chat with them, but I missed that time. So I never got the chance to meet Sherman, but that would be pretty dope. Hopefully next year, if they do it again, hopefully next year.
Hopefully Tony Gonzalez too. That's another guy.
He is up there. Prime Video got everybody.
They got some stars out there. They got Andrew Whitworth, who just retired from winning a Super Bowl with the Rams. It's like
who else is there? I know Kay Adams was supposed to be a part of it, right? I don't know what happened with that.
I don't know what happened, but she does her own show, so it's
so she's still doing her thing. So they got a bunch of stars.
Yeah, dude, I missed the Good Morning Football when she was on.
She's dope. She's one of the best, female analysts out there that's reporting on sports and stuff. She's one of the dopest.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, man, you have the luxury, man. You could just have your own schedule. Unlike me, I had to figure out what to do with my situation because I got to look for the job and everything's kind of been like told in with me. So I'll probably know by Friday because the best thing about it was you told me, I'm flexible, dude. We can do it.
Oh, yeah. That's the best thing about working from home, being flexible. I got two little ones. I got a 4-year-old and a 5-month son. So just being able to be there for them, not have to pay for childcare. Childcare is super expensive. So, just being able to be there and, watch them grow up and have like 2 to 3 other things that I'm working on. It's always good to have some time to work on other, ventures that you have. So.
Oh, absolutely, man. All that extra free time to spend with your family, because most people who just work on business, man, they don't have time for their family. And it's kind of like,
you gotta find the right mix. You can't just all business, no family, but you also got to provide. So you got to find that right mix. Got to walk that line.
Yeah. The crazy part was, I always look to get any other NFL players on my show just every now and then. But my first ever guest was Mike Rump, the DB guy.
Ooh. He was cold at Miami.
Yeah, he was. And then he was telling me crazy stories about Ed Reed and those other stories, bro. It was just legendary.
Yeah, and I remember when he got drafted to the Niners, I was like, ooh, we got one. He had a decent career.
He had an okay career. It just put him out of place. He should have played more of safety at that point.
Yeah, because I definitely think he should have played safety. They started him at corner, though, or not start, but he was playing corner. He definitely fit as a safety. But that was one of my favorite players coming out. I'm like, oh, we got Mike Rump. So.
That was before that time, man. But it just has to be that great to just say, hey, my dad was a Super Bowl champion for that Niners, man. Like you can just. But you have your own legacy, man. You're doing something great, man. Just the community of Fresno, man. They just appreciate every bit of you, man.
Oh, and I love the community of Fresno. They've always been loving, and my wife is from that area, so I'm always going back. So I love Fresno. I definitely felt like I picked the right school. So shout out to Fresno, California.
Yeah, great community, man. Maybe one day if you ever come around, man, maybe we'll link up at the Doghouse Grill or something.
Oh yeah. We gotta exchange information. We'll definitely do that.
Oh yeah, and absolutely, man.
Sure. Yeah, Doghouse is the thing. It's right there. Yeah,
that's the place. There's other places, man. if anybody ever comes down Fresno, you got Colorado Grills, you got Triangles. I don't know if you've tried that one, but
I haven't. That's crazy. I've been there for 4 years and I haven't tried it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But Yeah, dude, it just has to be just when you look back in time, it's like,
Mhm.
hey, you did something.
Yeah.
Most people would have just said, man, I could have did this and that. No,
Mhm.
you've established a lot in Fresno State.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said earlier, like just being a part, just being able to, for my son to look up the stats and be like, "Oh, pops, you was second all-time leading touchdowns at receiver." Like, "Oh, pops, you top 5 in receiving yard." It's just that's just a blessing, and it's always something that he can look up and be proud of. Like, "Oh, my pops was a pretty good receiver at Fresno State." So
Yeah, I thought you would have been at least had a good career, man. But injuries happen, so
injuries happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just to play with Derek Carr and then having Devontae Adams and then
Mhm.
you and Isaiah Burst and
Mhm.
dude, you guys had something going on. You guys were like that one team that everybody was kind of thinking, oh, Boise State's still taking the conference, but that
Yeah.
following year you guys beat them for
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, we beat him, and that was like the best feeling. And I know for Derek too, because I don't. Did his brother get a chance to beat Boise?
I don't think he did, but I think he gave Derek a poster of the Boise State until they beat him or something like that.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad we got to do that for him, and just for the city of Fresno. I know it's a big rivalry. I would say that's our biggest rivalry right there. So
Yeah.
when we did that, I was it was great, and we was ranked, and that year was crazy.
Yeah, Boise State is kind of like the Seattle Seahawks of the Niners, man. They just give us a lot of hard times.
Oh yeah, they always got talent over there, but when we was there, we got a chance to knock them off a couple times. So
yeah, yeah, man, it has to be just great to look at it and just say, man, we did something that was impossible. You guys won the Mountain West, and then
a couple times,
and then now you look back at it. Now you see Jake Haener becoming Derek Carr's backup now.
That's so dope. Because I know Haener looks up to Derek, right? Just being at Fresno, Derek. When you think of Fresno State, you think of Derek Carr, right? You think of Devontae Adams. So just being able to go into the NFL, and Derek, he's a vet now. He's been doing it for so long, with the Raiders, and Jake Haener being able to go in there and just learn, just sit back and learn from Derek Carr, and hopefully one day he takes over, when Derek Carr is done. And I think New Orleans is gonna have a hell of a year. I think they my pick to win the South. So just for Jake Haener to just sit back and watch, and when it's his turn, I know he's gonna do his thing as well.
Yeah, there was a Saints fan in the comment section, so he was probably asking about those Derek Carr questions, and I was like telling him, hey, man, I'm pretty sure you got some funny stories of them, right?
Yeah, what's the questions? What's the question?
No, I think he was just asking about like I guess like did you play with Derek Carr or something? But you already said that. Yeah, and just despite the fact that you wanted to go on the other side just to play with Derek, I don't blame you, man. You wanted to build that connection, say, hey, my guy got me a job. I want to go take advantage with him.
Yeah. No, I'm I was born into being a Niner, so I was always going to be a Niner. But I couldn't pass up that. That
I don't blame you.
From Derek Carr, not the GM, not the head coach.
Carr, he called you. He trusts you.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? Come on, let's go.
Come on, let's go, man.
Everywhere else, but I should have picked the Saints. I should have picked.
It's all good as it is, bro. I know. Yeah, sure. I know it could have been differently, but you can't choose whatever the past is. I mean, you chose the connection. You chose the connection with Derek Carr. So Carr was just
no regrets on my end. I had fun there. I met some great people. Like I said, Amari Cooper, Crabtree. I've watched him when he was on the Niners, and Seth Roberts and Bryce Butler. I'm still in contact with a lot of those dudes. So
that's
no regrets on my end.
Oh, that's got to be good to be in contact with those type of players, man. Just to see how they're doing. They check on you every now and then. That's got to be cool.
No, for sure. Yeah, them dudes, they're some cool dudes right there. For sure.
Yeah, it sure is, dude. Like, man, it must be cool to interact with a lot of those guys. Like Amari Cooper is another one you keep in contact with, or no?
Yeah. So I'm in contact with Coop, every once in a while. Bryce Butler, on the Instagram, check in with him every once in a while. Seth Roberts, if I'm ever in that area, that Florida area, I'm going to hit up Seth. So,
I've heard he seems like a chill back dude.
Oh, man, Seth is one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet. ever meet. I've never seen Seth mad, right? So he's just a cool dude. He had a great career. He's one of those players that had a great career too. He had a great run.
Yeah, he
Big
was like
time catches.
Yeah, he was like a number 3 receiver for them at the time. But he
Big
was
time. Always came up big time for the Raiders.
Yeah, and then Crabtree has to be the one that's tough to get on. Like he seems like a big deal.
yeah, Crabtree's a big deal, but he was, like I said earlier, he was one of the coolest people too, and just like another like big bro type figure. While I was there, so them dudes was super cool.
Yeah. So what's it like to just hang around with Devontae, man? Is he just like kind of like a cool dude or kind of like all out?
Man, yeah. So it's crazy. When I be kicking it with Tay, sometimes I forget he's famous. Honestly, like he's just normal. Like we kick it, we talk about normal stuff. But when we go out somewhere, it hits me like, oh man, this dude. I remember he's famous. Like you see people looking like that's Devontae. But yeah, no, it's super cool. We've been close since his freshman year, so I gotta remind myself like this dude is famous. You can't just walk around like that. So it's dope having Tay as one of my best friends for sure.
Well, I mean, Tay has to know it's you, man, because you know him. Like, hey, I'm Josh, man. Come on, you know me. Don't treat me like I'm nobody.
Yeah, we still competitive, right? So we always talking about who had the best hands or who runs the best route. I'm always gonna say me, but
yeah, I choose you.
Yeah. But yeah, we still competitive like that. Who shoots the best? Who got the best shot? Who will win one-on-one, things like that. So it's always good having a good friend that you can be competitive with, and it's never gonna go overboard.
Never goes overboard, but it gets interesting.
It gets interesting, and then, like I said, we both super competitive, so it's good competing with NFL star.
I guess that's what made Fresno State so great that year.
Oh yeah,
you guys were so competitive with one another. Like, hey, I can catch the ball better than you.
Oh yeah, and look, during practice, we did that during practice. We were competing like who can catch it with one hand. I'm watching me catch it with one hand right here. You don't catch it, you're gonna get cussed out. But who can go the whole practice without having a drop? So we was always competitive. We would be like, okay, I'm one right now.
Oh, dude, I seen a couple of those highlight plays where you were kind of making this one-handed snag catch, and then you were just making it look like it was nothing.
Oh yeah, and that's I actually tore my groin on that play.
On that play?
On that play, yeah. It was again. Are you talking about the one against San Jose State?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one where you're kind of like making that one-handed catch, and then you were kind of making it look like it was easy, and then I guess that's where you pulled your hamstring.
I tore my groin that play. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that highlight film just doesn't even show that part of the play.
Yeah.
Like you didn't now you explained to me how you made that play, but then you torn your groin on that play.
Yeah. And it was like the second play of the game. Second, third play of the game.
So you were ruled out of that game.
I missed the whole shootout, man. That was a crazy game.
Sure was, man. But for those other athletes, why should they go to Fresno State, bro? Like, why? Like, if you were recruiting them and convincing them to go.
Man, so I would say Fresno State, if you want to follow in the footsteps of, not just great players in college, but look at what's going on in the NFL and NBA. You got Paul George, you got Aaron Judge. Look at these are the players that are the top of the top. You got the best receiver in football. You have Derek Carr, who's had a great career, and he's been playing for so long. And just like, the Valley, if you want a whole city to be behind you and, come out and support you and, just continue the legacy of the hard-nosed, tough, swagger type dudes at Fresno State, that's the right choice for you. Right.
Yeah. There. Doesn't have to be the biggest school in the world. Doesn't have to be the Pac-12. Just make a name for yourself there.
Like I said, they'll come find you. If you're a dog in college and you do what you're supposed to do in college, look at the players that went to Fresno State. Look what they're doing now. They'll find you. You got to go where you're embraced by the city, by the coaching staff. Tedford's there. I had a chance to work underneath Tedford. Great dude. He's also the one I decommitted from, so he forgives me. I think he forgives me. But like I said, he's a great coaching staff. Pick Fresno State. That's the way.
You can't go wrong, even though the weather sucks. But they embrace you.
It's a lot of places where the weather sucks. So,
but the weather guys,
yeah, go ahead. Still go to Fresno State. Weather sucks, but the weather also sucks in the South.
You're right about that part. But I'm just kind of like just throwing it as a joke. But
I know.
If you like the humidity weather, if you like the humidity in the summer, I guess Fresno would be your place. But if you love just the football atmosphere of what they do in Fresno State, man, that's a great program.
Yeah, definitely. I had a ball there. I still go back. People remember me. I'm like, man, I ain't played in 7, 8 years. You still remember me. That's pretty dope. So
yeah, I don't know, like the names just pop in, every now and then. So I'm like always trying to come up with some new guesses. And then I'm always thinking, man, there's another player that played in this other college. And I'm thinking, I get a lot of sometimes these other college prospects most of the time from the show. I even had Spencer Burfer, who was the Niners 4th round draft pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I haven't met him, but I'm excited for him to have that full-time job at the guard position instead of switching in and out. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a really cool dude. Like as far as him, he was a quiet, humble guy. And then I just interviewed this year's guy who was drafted by the Seahawks, Cameron Young, who was just. But yeah, I enjoy interviewing college prospects. But even NFL, even like legends in NCAA or anybody else, I look more into the human beings more than I do with them as what they were. It's like you got to look at them as human beings first.
Yeah, definitely. That's super dope about you because not a lot of people do that. They just look at the athlete, forget the person, right? So that's pretty dope that you do that.
I look more at the person more than I do. Even though your name is like around there, I just think, hey, you're just a normal person, bro. You just look like a chill, down to earth guy. You probably seem more laid back.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's me. I'm laid back. I'm cool dude. You can hit me up whenever, man. I'm just a cool dude. Cool dude. So
maybe one day we can do a little podcast. One day,
Oh yeah, I'm down, man. Talk some Niner ball or whatever. Talk players. I'm down, man.
We can mix up some Fresno State with it too.
Mix some Fresno State. I love the dogs. I love the dogs.
Yeah. Okay. We'll work on something. But I had another guest who actually was with the Raiders, but he was named Stuart Swagger. He was on my show like months ago.
Stuart Swagger. That doesn't ring a
He's a safety for the Raiders.
Okay.
He's a good dude, really cool guy. Like he talks mental psychology stuff and all the stuff that mentally happen with players that get concussions.
Yeah, and that's big, especially in today's game. So it's a lot of concussions like Tua. Man, that's crazy, scary, right?
The Dolphins had to go through a penalty with that because they should have just played it safe and not even played them.
Yeah, you got to be safe because one more concussion from Tua, you talking retirement, right? He has a family. He got to provide for his family, so you got to be careful with stuff like that.
Yeah, it's risky. Even though if they retire, it's understandable because a lot of these athletes who go through concussions, man, they're not the same mentally.
Not the same. And he's probably got to go through that mental block now, right? I don't want to get another concussion that might mess with his game. So I'm rooting for Tua though. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I'm just hoping he can stay healthy and not have to go through this injury, man. Because as a football fan, we don't want to see a guy like him have to fight for his life. It's just we saw what happened with the Buffalo Bills safety. That was like life-threatening right there.
Yeah, and that was scary for football fans and football players and just everybody across the world. So I'm glad. I believe he's cleared, right? He's cleared.
Yeah, he's clear.
So I'm just glad he made it through. So kudos to him, and I'm rooting for him as well.
Yeah, he's been medically clear, and I think the Bills are going to have him good to go. So it's like
nice. No, that's amazing right there.
Yeah, that was that was an ugly injury, just the way it kind of seemed it seemed like he made the tackle, but then when he got up, he was just shaking weird. So it was like
scary.
And then I guess T. Higgins was getting a lot of death threats for that, which was not even his fault. It was just
that's BS. It's football, right? There's no way he could have did that on purpose.
He was trying to break a tackle,
move, right? So that's crazy that he would receive death threats for that.
Yeah, so, I didn't understand that part, but it was still uncalled for this guy. This guy was just doing his job, making a play. But
he's people not looking at the human being, right? They're just football players.
Oh yeah.
right?
Dude, I mean, there's people who are human beings. Just because you're a superstar does not mean you're not a human being. You are a human being.
You're a human being, and people forget that. People get caught up in fandom and just their feelings and forget that these dudes are human beings as well. They're playing this game to provide for their family, just like we go to work. You know,
we go to work like that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure when it comes down to football, you know all your stuff, and you probably know more about the wide receivers or any other position. Man, I'm pretty sure you do a lot of studies of that.
Yes, definitely. I love the position. Like I said, Keith Williams, he is the best receiver coach out there, and that's who I got all of my stuff from. And you know, that's when I'm looking at receivers, I'm looking at it from a lens like that he taught us. So, you know, I love watching receivers and, you know, studying those dudes. So, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, man. So for anybody else, man, you can ask him any questions. I mean, Josh is just a chill down to earth guy, man.
Definitely.
Could have been something big, but you know, injuries happen. Sometimes you have a purpose in life, you know.
Definitely. So no, I'm excited. I'm a chill dude. Ask away.
Ask away, man. But I guess they're kind of being a little quiet lately. I guess they were about waiting for those questions, but guess we'll just wait and see how it goes. But I'll probably just get you a couple more questions just to make it more interesting. So
okay.
So as far as like who's QB3 and can you throw the ball? Oh, what? Are you talking for the Niners or
yeah, is this for the Niners?
Or what is this for? Or he's probably talking about for the Niners.
Yeah, so I mean QB3. So QB1 is Purdy, rightfully so, right? QB1 is Purdy.
For the moment, because he's injured.
QB1. Yeah, but he's injured. So I would say QB2 or QB1 right now would have to be Trey Lance. They have to see what is he? You know, throw him out there. If he's not there, Darnold is next up. We've seen Darnold play. I mean, not with this type of team, but he has a talented arm. But that doesn't always translate, right? So Darnold has to be QB2. And if they both, you know, shit the bed, you know, we know what Brock Purdy is. We know what Brock is. So
they just signed Brandon Allen just to be a camp body, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's QB4. I like these. I like these three QBs way better than Brandon Allen.
So in alphabetical order. So if you had to go between Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold, who would you label as your third and at the end?
At the end, so last would be Darnold.
Okay.
You know, we've seen what he is. Not saying that he can't be something special with Kyle. And with this loaded Niners team, but you know we know what he is. Then it's Trey Lance. He had his chance, but like I said, injuries happen. And then when Brock Purdy came in, you know they were winning, and we weren't just winning because of the run game and defense. He played a big role in that, right? So he made some big throws. So he's our QB1. But I'm excited. I hope Trey does get a chance. He has the crazy potential. I hope he does get a chance and he does well with it. But yeah, if Purdy is healthy, we got to go Purdy QB1.
Absolutely, man. So guess all these questions are kind of slowing down. But for you, man, thank you for your time, bro. For everybody else who wants to find where your social media platform is, man, just tell everybody where they can find you.
So on Instagram, I'm JHarp2, JHARP, the number 2. And then on Twitter, I'm JHarp the second. So that's JHarp and then second as in 2ND.
Oh, yeah, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, dude, definitely looking forward to exchange with you, man. So we'll definitely catch up sometime. And, dude, it's just great. You know, outside of the NFL, I do enjoy watching college football, man. That year, that Fresno State team was just very electrifying to watch.
Definitely. Yeah, it's one of my 2013 was my favorite year right there. So we had a crazy squad, offense and defense side of the ball. So enjoyed my time with those dudes over there.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. We're coming late in the party, but it's all good, bro. We're probably just going to end this. And for everybody else, man, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all later, man. But, hey, Josh Harper, the legend, the myth.
Yes, sir.